Fly fishing has long been synonymous with casting dainty flies to selective trout, but no more. Fly anglers today are increasingly targeting big, aggressive fish, casting flies that are sometimes the size of a small trout. In Vermont, northern pike are a prime example, and a day spent fly fishing for these toothy predators is sure to get your heart racing.
There we go.
Oh, fish, got him, nice.
I started fishing for pike. I can remember it was on the Otter Creek. I was with my father, and it was the first time I threw a fly rod. We had seen the pike under a big log jam. Got the canoe about 10 feet away from that log jam, and I just flipped it out as best I could, and you know, pike being pike, it just came out and absolutely crushed the streamer.
Oh.
Pike are crazy. They're explosive. A lot of it's visual. You know, you're stripping your fly, you can see your fly working. You can see that pike come out, and half the time they come out and they just demolish your fly, inhale it. The other half, you have to tease them and make, you know, the fish makes you work for it.
Got a small northern here. It hit an articulated, kind of a rainbow trout colored streamer. And I've got some dumbbell eyes on this fly, so it's got a little bit of a jig action to it. And the fish seem to like that jig action today. We're looking for one about twice that.
On a beautiful May morning, I joined a crew from the Middlebury Mountaineer to fish for northern pike on the Otter Creek. While most of us grew up fishing for trout, the chance to hook a fish that can be several feet long had us eagerly casting large flies to steep banks and down trees.
I'm a trout fisherman. At heart, I truly am. I love trout, I prefer trout, and then I hooked my first pike and I'm like, why aren't I doing this more?
Good one?
I can't tell yet. Oh,
That
yeah,
looks like
it's got
a good
some
one.
bite. It definitely feels good. It's pretty exciting to hook a big pike and you know, put the wood to them, and you know, different from trout where I try to get a big trout on the reel. A lot of times it's just clamping down and breaking their will. I think that's a huge part of it, and that first 30 seconds is pretty exciting.
They never like seeing that net the first time, do they?
He's a player. There we go. Thank you, Lawrence.
That's another 7-8 pound fish. Good job.
Nice. When you see a 40-inch fish, 40-plus inch fish roll on a fly like that, it gets your heart racing. I gotta say, it's pretty special.
Toothy critter.
All right, I would just get a new one.
I like that. I like when they peel out.
Yeah.
You know, it still had a lot of energy.
Fishing the otter from shore can be difficult because of its steep banks and limited access points. But a pair of drift boats allowed us to cover miles of water as we slowly drifted downstream.
It's mucky. It's very hard to get a back cast in, so I think having a boat, you can access water that other people can't. Stretches between bridges, 5 to 10 miles sometimes, of water that gets very little pressure. So I love that.
We did most of our fishing from a 3-person dory and also used one of the Mountaineer's new lightweight inflatables. Both were ideal platforms for spotting fish and dropping a fly in front of them.
Fishing from a boat and standing up as opposed to kind of sitting down in a kayak or a canoe, for me, you have such a different view of your fly in the water that I think you can watch that fish, that apex predator, chase, turn, and roll on your fly. It's pretty exciting. Nice.
Yeah, I was gonna say, all he needed to do was see
He's
the
not
net.
ready yet.
It's coming up.
Oh, nice fish.
All right, watch him react to the net again. Beautiful.
Nice.
That was really cool. I'm watching my fly come back through that well-lit bank, and he just came hard left, probably 10 feet away.
One of my favorite parts about pike fishing is the visual aspect. One of the coolest things you can do when you're pike fishing is throw a topwater fly next to a log jam or in a shallow, weedy section and just see these wakes coming from all different angles at that fly. It just gets your heart pounded, and half the time you're setting the hook way too soon because you can see it all right in front of you, and the anticipation gets to you and the excitement.
Ow! All right, we're gonna get some thrashing here. Who wants to take a guess?
8, yeah. All right, I'll go with 9. $1.
Boy, split the difference. I'd say 8.5. Well, that's close to, that's a 30-inch fish. Wouldn't you say?
It's just one of the few fish we have in Vermont that get that big, and just, I mean, the teeth on them, everything about them, they're prehistoric. They're just on a bigger scale.
To catch one of these toothy predators, it usually takes a meaty fly to attract their attention.
You've got your surface flies, you've got your submergers that'll duck under for a second or two and come back up, or you can throw these big dumbbell-eyed, huge behemoth flies. And we like to start out using small flies for the most part. I'd say anything around the 4-inch range early season. As the water warms up and the bait fish grow, then we'll start switching over and we'll use flies 10 inches, 7 inches.
We're using a lot of white today to imitate either an immature rainbow trout or a fall fish. A lot of times it's just the fact that there's something moving. They're predators. If it looks good, they're gonna attack it.
Oh, on.
Oh, fish, got him, nice.
Yep.
There we go. During our float, pike attacked our flies throughout the course of the day.
So one of the other benefits to pike fishing is that you can target them any time of the day, really any time of the year. They're a warm water fish, so when all your trout streams get too warm to fish ethically to catch and release trout, pike fishing is a great opportunity to keep casting, keep looking for fish. It's a year-round fishery, and with a fly rod you can chase them, all summer long, anytime the water's open.
You got him? No, not quite. Pike are found throughout Vermont, including the Connecticut River, but the most opportunities are in the Champlain Valley.
Lake Champlain has some incredible fishing opportunities for pike. Grand Isle.
Lake Dunmore is a fantastic pike fishery. For us, Bristol Pond in our backyard.
Lake Bomazine. There's a million little bodies of water that pike hold in that are pretty special places to target them.
But for Steve and his guides at the Middlebury Mountaineer, it's tough to beat a float trip on the Otter Creek.
So what makes the Otter such an incredible place to pike fish is the amount of structure you have in the Otter Creek. You've got sweepers, log jams, you've got a lot of weed cover, and then you have these nice sandy beaches that kind of slope into the river and are just a great spot to find pike sunning themselves. All these little side channels that come in, irrigation ditches from farm fields, that brings in a little warmer water in the early spring, and that's a great spot to find pike.
Oh, I had to follow. I did. There he goes. Nice.
We call it gator country. They are just ambush predators, and you put that fly out there, and to see that swirl or that strike right as it hits the water, pretty amazing. I think having a boat, being able to access some of that water makes it special to us.